Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Hiking Adventures with Trevor. Today we've got another little hiking tip for you, and that's all about hydrating whilst you're on the trail. It's really important to stay hydrated. Now, most people I know, they'll go out on the trail and they'll have their bottles of water, and every half hour or so they'll have a big glug, or maybe every hour or two they'll have a big drink of water and then keep on walking. Or they wait until they feel really dry in the throat and feeling thirsty. Well, if you're waiting to when you feel thirsty, it's too late. You're already dehydrated. And you're probably going to find if you are dehydrated, you're going to start to get that, real classic dull headache behind the eyes. Your legs are going to feel weak and everything's just going to fatigue on you simply because you don't have enough water in the body. Also, when you're hiking and you're going on a few hours of a hike and you're starting to build up a really big sweat, it's not only water that's coming out of your body, you're also losing salt and magnesium through that sweating. So for that reason, you should not just drink water when you hike. Because if you're doing big hikes, 6-7 hour hiking days over multiple days, and you're just drinking water, you'll find your body will start to get really fatigued, again, weak legs, get headaches and all these things. And it's not so much that you're dehydrated, it's that you've lost a lot of the salt and magnesium out of your body. I always, if I'm going on a hike any longer than a couple of hours, I often will put some of these actually, hydration salts that I buy. I buy these from a brand. The brand is Sodi. Now, I'm not sponsored by Sodi, but I've just found a lot of the electrolytes that you buy, especially the cheaper ones from the major supermarkets, they tend to don't work, or actually don't. I think a lot of them don't even have magnesium in them. But anyway, I found that this brand Sodi have a full spectrum of minerals, and so it really helps to hydrate me and keep my body full of salts and potassium, magnesium and all of that when I'm hiking. They come in little satchels, so they're really easy to put in your hiking bag. Or what I do when I fill my big litre bottles of water up when I hike, I often will break open one of these and put it in a 1 litre of water, and I often will have a litre of hydrolytes and 1 litre of this plain water. And throughout my hike, I will take a sip of both regularly. And that also brings me to a point. When you drink, big guzzles, or, you wait until you feel thirsty, that doesn't work as good as doing little sips regularly throughout your hike. Now, if you have a backpack that has a bladder in it, well, that's good. You can have your straw, your pipe handy and just have a sip fairly frequently. Or if you prefer to use a bottle like me, and the reason for that is I can actually see the amount of water that I'm drinking, and I'm making sure I'm keeping my volumes of water, up, so I know what I'm drinking. I'm often, every 5 minutes having a little sip. I'm not gulping a big bucket of water, but I'm having these little sips frequently throughout my hike. And I found, I'll have a drink of water, and next little sip I'll have a little bit of my hydrolyte. So I find by the end of the day I'm still feeling pretty good. And it's because the hydrolytes, as well as the hydrating my body regularly, really helps with that. So don't wait till you feel thirsty. If you wait till you feel thirsty, you're dehydrated. And it's going to take a long time for you to get that hydration back. Even if you stand there and gulp bucket loads of water, it's not going to be as good as if you just frequently drink throughout the day. So don't wait till you're thirsty. Keep hydrating. I always like to have a big pile of water too before I start the walk. So I have a lot, so I feel really hydrated, and then have those bottles and frequently drink out of them throughout my hike. It's really important to do that. So if I go on a multi-day hike, I always, I allocate you know, a couple of satchels or one satchel per day, and I might even take a couple of extras just in case I feel like I need to have more hydration and more electrolytes. It's really, and they don't weigh anything, little satchels. I think they also make a little, you can get a bulk sort of bottle of the powder, but I prefer the little satchels. And as I said, I use this brand Sodi, and out of all of the flavors they have, this one's called Salty Pineapple. You think that would taste really, really horrible, but it actually doesn't. It's really pleasant tasting. So that's the brand and the flavor that I tend to take on my hikes. What else can I say about water, keeping your water up? You know, if you're multi-day hiking too, make sure that you plan that you've got enough water for that hike. Also, you know, if your hike is going to go over a length of time where you're going to need the source water along the trail, you know, you do your research, do your homework before you go on the trail. Is there points where I can pick up water? You know, is there a little campground with a water tank that I can access water? Is there known water sources, creeks and things along the way that you know that will have water in them? Don't assume there's a creek on your map that it's going to have water in it. You know, especially at the moment, we're going through a dry spell in Australia, especially in Queensland. So, you know, make sure there's water there. And for that reason too, it's always good to take a water filter with you. Don't drink, you know, water straight out of creeks or water tanks at campsites, because you know, it may not be as pure as you think it is. So I use just a basic little Sawyer filter. I always take that on trips with me. I often take two. Well, normally when I hike with my wife. She'll take one as well as mine in case one breaks down. They can do, you know, they can crack or break, you know, get clogged up. So it's always good to have a backup one just in case, because the last thing you want if you're 3 days into a hike and you know your water filter doesn't work and you got no water left. It's not a really good thing. So anyway, lots of things to consider. So just a bit of a recap. When you go hiking, have a lot of water before you start, and then throughout the hike, have multiple little sips very frequently. Every couple of minutes, have a little sip. Do that rather than take big gulps every half hour or hour, or wait until you feel thirsty. Don't wait for that, because then you are dehydrated, and that can cause lots of problems for you. So multiple sips throughout the day, and if you're going on a longer hike than a couple of hours, especially if it's hot, I would also take some hydrolytes along with you to put in one of your water bottles. So, and that will help keep your body functioning well, and you'll feel a lot better for it once you get to camp at night. So, on that note, I hope this has helped you with, you know, you are working with your water on your hike. So I hope it's helped you in that way. And if it does, just drop me a message below and let me tell me what you think of what I've just said to you, and any other tips that you think you might need or want a little bit more clarity on when it comes to hiking. Just drop me a message. Say, hey, can you talk a little bit about, you know, whatever's on your mind there. So on that note, thanks for watching again. This is Trevor from Hiking Adventures with Trevor, and we'll see you out in the trails real soon. And if you're out in the trails and come across a little pin with my little name on it, I drop them around. Every time I go hiking, I leave one somewhere. So if you ever find one, drop me a message, you know, and you know, take a little pic and say, hey, I found your little pin badge. So that'd be really good to know if people are actually finding them and picking them up. So anyway, on that note, have fun out there, people. Stay safe. Enjoy your life. You know, hiking's meant to bring you lots of joy, be with nature, make you healthy, all the things that go with hiking. So enjoy your life out there on the trails, and we'll see you soon. Bye.